for his constituents. Non-citizens don't just have rights here in the US, they may have more rights than you do. Just before Christmas, Brown pardoned 2 immigrants scheduled to be deported for committing felonies here in the US. One of the 2 men was a gang member convicted of an illegal weapons charge. Brown's hope is that the pardons will allow both immigrants to stay in America. Evidently, he believes they will greatly strengthen America. Jose Magana is an attorney and immigration advocate. He joins us. Jose, this is a strategy by guys like you to use gubernatorial pardons to do an end run around the deportation process, correct?
Well, Mark, I think there's a little bit of confusion. We may be looking at 2 different versions of the Constitution because mine actually has the 10th Amendment in it. And under the 10th Amendment, governors are expected to regulate their state's criminal justice system, including pardons. These individuals went through an incredibly rigorous and stringent process to be eligible for these pardons, including 10 years of being crime-free, obtaining a certificate of rehabilitation, and paying their debt to society.
Well, wait a minute before we get to that, because in 20 years, from 1991, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Gray Davis, and Pete Wilson pardoned a grand total between them of 15 criminals, 15 pardons. That's 3/4 of a pardon per year. In 6 years, Governor Brown has done, I think it's up around 1,500 pardons. So clearly, the nature of a presidential pardon and the 10th Amendment and the power of the pardon is changing. And to go back to my question, that's because you guys have figured that the immigration lobby, the illegal immigration lobby, has figured this is a great way to do an end run around the national government's power to deport.
It's a great way to help individuals who have been here for 30, 40, 50 years, who emigrated to the United States legally, as both of these individuals did, who have deep legal connections in U.S. citizen families, to essentially present their case in front of an immigration judge. These pardons don't guarantee their ability to stay in the country. Now, Mark, you were Canadian, you had a green card. If this had happened to you, I would be fighting for your opportunity to fight and show that you're a contributing member to this country, which you are. You're doing the jobs that Americans don't want to do, like hosting the show while Tucker's documenting.
Yeah. I'll take you up on that, because some twit at the border tried to deport my little daughter. There's no kind of sentimentality about legal immigration in certain respects. But you know as well as I do that when a citizen commits a crime, you're stuck with the citizen. When a non-citizen commits a crime, he is at risk of deportation. So why is the immigration lobby so eager not even to deport criminals? If you want to change people's minds on immigration, wouldn't it help to actually show a willingness to deport gang members with the kind of conviction that one of these pardon recipients has?
Well, generally, this administration isn't even prioritizing gang members and criminal aliens. Most of the people that it's going after are little girls with cerebral palsy in Texas, dreamers that get too close to the border, women seeking protective orders in courthouses. So when you say that conservatives are arguing for the deportation of criminals and other similar individuals, that's not even what this administration is doing. It's simply waving gang affiliation as a magic wand to try to turn America against the broader immigrant population. And I'm sure you would agree that we shouldn't demonize all immigrants.
Well, wait a minute. We can't demonize gang members. I mean, there are communities a long way from the Mexican border that have been hollowed out by MS-13, for example. There are communities that were peaceful, boring, picket fence suburbs where they're now having ritual initiation murders committed by MS-13 members. Why should this gang member be given a pardon? And more to the point, how does the American gang member in the cell next door feel when he sees governors prioritizing immigrants for pardons over the native-born criminal class?
Well, in this case, Governor Brown also pardoned a wide variety of U.S. citizens. As long as you meet the stringent criteria, you're able to apply. And, Mark, I would argue that our country has historically always been committed to the concept of rehabilitation and paying your debt to society, which both of these individuals have done. By asking to be deported, these individuals are essentially being double punished.
Wait a minute. A World War II veteran from the United Kingdom whose wife got sick and died in hospital, and he's in America, and he stayed with her to die in America, to watch her die in America. He was kicked out and banned from entering the country for 10 years for no crime other than staying with his sick wife. What people are worried about is there's a bifurcation here between a cosseting of the professional criminal class and the ruthlessness that you describe with cerebral palsy victims.
You know, this administration has also consistently deported Mexican veterans, and I'd like them to return. I'd like the specific case that you mentioned to return. Now, if you want to be mad about pardons, be mad about the commutation that President Trump did last week for a meat packer who had exploited and trafficked 400 undocumented immigrants, including children. So what we're basically saying is we're fine with pardons for people exploiting immigrants, but not for the immigrants themselves? Come on, Mark.
Well, you know, that's not where this stops, Jose. As you know, there's a strategy behind this, and that strategy has got the cooperation of a lot of Democrat governors and the immigration lobby. But thanks for coming on the show. Last week, Tucker reported